Hey everyone, Alicia here from Stretch It app, and on today's episode of Stretch It Fundamentals, we go over back bending technique and the fundamentals. Usually people heavily rely on their lower spine for a deep back bend, but you still have your shoulders, upper middle back, and hips to work on in order to improve your spine's extension. We'll go over those exercises and those different regions so not only you can improve your back bend, but have a stronger one. To first begin with shoulders, you can have a seat either on the block between the heels, sitting on top, or if it's more comfortable to you, you can sit cross-legged, still with block underneath the hips. With back bending, we can also focus on the shoulders. Lots of times, if we want to move the arms back, we might rely on just the low spine to do so, but without actually moving low spine, you can create the arc from up top here in chest and shoulders just by relying on that flexibility here to get the arms back and the chest nice and high. If you need to, let's start with hands behind the head, elbows wide. Take a breath in. Exhale. Push chest up, wide elbows. Breath in, prepare. Exhale, wide elbows. 2 more. 1 more. Hold the elbows back. See if you can press the arms back, armpits up. 4, 3, 2. Come back center. You can try that again with bent elbows or now with arms overhead. As they press back, see if you can initiate from the shoulders instead of keeping the arms forward and just extending here in the low spine. Lift up and out of your pelvis. Create a high arc. And return. Exhale. Again. And center. 2 more. Last one. Let's see if we can hold. Exhale, stay. Press the arms back. 4, 3, 2, and release. To focus now on the upper and middle back with shoulders as well, you can now try with 2 blocks. And if you haven't done this exercise before, 1 block will be stacked under your shoulder blades. You can lower down using your forearms, hands behind your head, and second block will be placed underneath your head so the neck can stay neutral and now the arms are wide. But now because your shoulder blades are elevated and your hips drop from there, you can then focus better on the upper and middle part of your spine. To involve the shoulders, the arms can start wide and you can gently circle them up above your head and down by your hips. Notice if the arms float up, that's totally fine. This is a great opportunity to use gravity in helping the arms lower closer to the floor. If you want to exit, make sure you bend the elbow, place forearm down, and come up. If you want something a little more intense, naturally, we'll have to lift the floor higher. It's still the same placement. Use your forearms to carefully place shoulder blades on the blocks, hands on behind your head to carefully lower down. If this is a lot, then come back up, keeping hands behind the head. Maybe you lift pelvis up and drop it down. But see, the shoulder blades stay fixed and you can work on your upper and middle back extension. For shoulders, if you're comfortable enough, you can lower your head down, arms above your head, and you take the same sweeps as you did when we had a block underneath our head. If the arms float up, no problem. You can experiment with bent elbows instead. Please choose the variation that you're most comfortable with. You can experiment. If it's your first time doing this, be sure you do the version with a block underneath your head first. And lastly, we'll work on our hip flexors. And a position I love to practice with is the 90-90, where we're higher in our lunge. Instead of being here where it's easy to drop low because I could use my low back arch to get the hip pretty low and get the chest high. But for us to better target the hip flexor, let's start higher, hands on hips to posteriorly tilt the pelvis, target the hip flexor better, and then pull the navel back. So maybe we can even have a little bit of flexion in the low part of our spine to better emphasize this hip stretch. You can go through both the anterior tilt and posterior tilt to feel the difference, and hold the posterior tilt, either hands on the hips. You can punch the palms forward if you like. Staying here anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, and you could also use the same time frame for when on the blocks. Make sure you switch sides. Again, start higher, tilt first, in and out with both positions. Hold the tilt forward. Again, hands stay on the hips, or interlace the fingers to punch the palms forward. And if you like, when spending some time in your 90-90, you can step your foot forward, keep blocks by your side, lower hips, try to keep navel away from the front thigh so you can still focus on your back hip extension. And if you were to put everything together, coming into a typical seal stretch with hands out in front, we can peel up from the shoulders and chest, using that upper and middle back extension and driving the hips down, just like we were in our 90-90 lunge. Try to mimic that same position, and now pull the chest wide, and that same sensation we practice in our shoulder stretch. Pull the shoulders back, chest nice and high. 4, 3, 2, and return the same way you arrived. To improve flexibility, make sure you check out our stretching classes on our Stretch It app. Our link will be down below in the description box. And if you like more classes like this and want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.